Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Own Your Own Freedom. I am what you would call in this community a narcissistic abuse survivor via family and via romantic relationship. I choose every day, as I hope you would choose with me, to own my past, seize my present, and heal from my future. This video is for all of you, for those who consider themselves to be highly sensitive people, for truly empathic people, for victims of narcissistic abuse, for whatever stage of real self-realization you are in, and for any of those of us who choose not to be held back by any collective thought or any unproven ideology ever again. This video, I'm going to discuss some things that I find to be misconceptions about covert narcissists, and this is based on my, of course, experience, but also research and watching some of these YouTube videos, because people say some things that just aren't based in reality, and sometimes they can really confuse people who are truly healing from narcissistic abuse, because covert narcissism, as we already know, is very different than I would say grandiose or malignant narcissism. Or overt narcissism. It's just, there's so many different facets, and it's not just, these people operate this way, these people operate this way. Sometimes they can be all of them, and they can just choose how they want to show up in different situations. It can also be based on personality. I believe narcissists don't really have a personality because they're so busy copying other people. But based on whatever rage or shame that they have, whatever level, that manifests themselves based on the behavior that they've learned to exhibit, and it just goes to the extreme. So my first thing I will say is that one misconception is that covert narcissists are not grandiose. And I will say, first and foremost, that is so not true. Covert narcissists are just as grandiose, whether in reality or in their mind, as overt narcissists. And I say this because just because the covert narcissist is not out there boasting, wearing flashy clothes and demanding that people, acknowledge them when they walk into a room and all of that. Just because they're not like that doesn't mean they're not grandiose. They simply choose when it is appropriate to show their inner fantasies, show their inner world, show what they actually want in life, to truly be themselves, and that's usually with their intimate partner only, or any flying monkeys that have really stuck with them. They understand, in comparison to overt narcissists, covert narcissists understand social norms. They understand that there are some things that people will react to. And they don't want to operate in that, but also they struggle with caring way too much about the opinions of others. So my ex narcissist was very concerned about the opinions of others. If we were in a restaurant and I happened to raise my voice, and then because he was acting like an idiot, I will say that's a nice way of putting it, he will look around and be like, "You're embarrassing me. You people are watching. Like, why do you disturb them?" He didn't care about resolving the problem. He only cared about how other people saw us. They saw that there was a problem. And for me, I really just didn't care. But they care very much about social norms and the opinions of others, because that helps make them feel like they are someone of value, someone that is full of quality, someone is a giver, who is humble, and all these different things. If they play on to the social norms and they get it right outwardly, then they feel good inwardly. Another thing that is a misconception is that covert narcissists are shy, and let me tell you, they're not shy. Once again, this is a way for them to play on social norms. It is a social norm in the West, I would say, because I live in the West. It is a social norm that people are paid more attention to if they are not loud and obnoxious. They are paid more attention to and respected more, meaning that respect is something of value just than just, I see that person. People are respected if they are someone of few words, if they choose their words wisely, if they speak softly, if they you know, seem to be wise, especially, and I would say, because mine was somewhat of a spiritual narcissist. He exhibited all the positive attributes that you find in like Christianity. You know, you someone who's meek and humble and trustworthy and loyal and dependable and all these different things, you know. And so, but they're not shy. It's just that their insecurity shows up stronger than an overt narcissist. They depend upon the perceptions of others in order to control people. It's not necessarily about dominance like overt narcissism is, where they have to dominate, you know, everybody in a way of like, sort of like, I would compare an overt narcissist as a sort of like a sword compared to a covert narcissist who's more like a surgical knife. Because one, you feel it, it's coming, you see it's coming, you have to swing it, and the power of the force causes the most damage. But a surgical instrument, a surgical knife, a scalpel, doesn't need so much force. It just needs the correct angle, and it's sharp enough to get exactly what it needs to get done and to cut in the right places. And that's what a covert narcissist does. They're not shy. It's just they use shyness sometimes to get under the skin of others and to get people to think positively of them and to get people to pity them and take care of them. It's actually pretty sickening that, you know, they can act one way in private and be all you know, not obnoxious, but be all domineering. But then the next moment, when they're around people that they really need to have a good opinion of them, they will act shy and like they don't know, and they'll second guess themselves. It's all a lie. They use shyness as a part of their trap to gain highly empathic people. That's really what that is. It's nothing more than just trying to get you. The third one I will say is that people believe that covert narcissists can't be violent. And let me just say, it's not that they can't be violent or that they don't have any rage. They do have rage. Everybody has rage, but they do have rage. Their rage is more of a cold fire, as Ross Rosenberg says. And it's not a hot fire like an overt narcissist who will just scream at you and you know, and rant and everything. A covert narcissist is usually, their rage is usually unpredictable, and the source of that is this vindictive entitlement to your time, your effort, your energy, your care, your affection, and this projected shame, like, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself that you're not giving me everything that I want, and also this immense emotional sensitivity. They just have to be the victim in everything, and that's part of their rage and their violence. But let me just say, an example of covert narcissistic violence would be, it may not be beating you to a pulp like an overt would, but it's like, for example, it may not be like physical violence. It could just be, you know, they usually buy food every week, and so they don't buy food for the next 3 weeks as part of their silent treatment. That's violence. That's their form of violence. You know, it's this underhanded, I don't know how you would say, passive aggressive violence, or like they know you're allergic to something, but instead of keeping it out of the food, they cook it in there anyway. That is their form of violence, to give you a reaction, to make you suffer. It's not overt, it's covert. And then the last one I'll mention is that they can be domineering. People think that they can't be domineering. They can. In conversations, in exploiting others, in their entitlement, they are very domineering. They just do it in a different way. Overt narcissists are domineering in a way of their presence, in a way of their demands on people. Covert narcissists are more in a way of, they have to drag people down and exhaust people in order to make them feel valuable and a person of worth, and to make themselves feel better. So they will dominate an entire room and lie about how much they know. They will exploit others by, you know, taking what they have and using it for their own gain, manipulating people to give them what they want. And of course, their entitlement to everyone's time, everyone's attention, everyone's focus, everyone's pity, because, you know, they have they wear their past on their sleeve. So everybody is hurting them. Everybody is after them, blah, blah, blah. So all of that is just a ploy they use to get people's attention. and to get people and to suck people dry. Essentially, that's what that is. So I hope that clears that up a little bit. If you have anything you'd like to add about covert narcissists and some of the misconceptions surrounding them, please leave something in the comments with the hashtag #OwnYourOwnFreedom, because that will be really helpful. Because there are a lot of things that people just don't know, even though there's so much content out here about narcissism. Covert narcissism is probably the ones that are least talked about, because it's just people, honestly, that person that people refuse to address, who takes up everyone's time, who is just a drain on everyone in the family, everyone in the friend group or whatever. People just get used to these people and they don't address them. An overt narcissist is someone everyone desires to tell off, to slash their tires, all of that, because of what they do outwardly. But a covert narcissist does a whole of a hell lot more. So thank you for watching. Leave a comment down below. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, because I want to come out with content probably twice a week or at least once a week. And absolutely hit the subscribe bell so that you know when the next video comes out. And I will see you on the next one.